Rock of the Dead is a short rhythm-based zombie rail shooter that obviously took very heavy influence from Guitar Hero, but is able to stand on its own two legs and isn't a straight ripoff. The very first thing I want to say about Rock of the Dead in my review is that I played it with a normal Xbox controller. But this game is very obviously meant to be played with an instrument controller. It was pretty easy to tell just with some of the button combos being near impossible with just my single right thumb, the fact that the orange button is the the left bumper, as the devs ran out of letter buttons, and that you're asked to match colors and not letters. What I mean by this is, in most games where there's a quick time event, you'll be asked to say press the B button, not the red button, but Rock of the Dead will say to press the red button. This took some getting used to as I have the controller memorized by letters and not colors, while a guitar controller is based off colors and not letters if I'm not mistaken. So on my first playthrough, I had a lot of brain farts of being like, which is the blue button again? Oh right, X. While this issue was present on my second recent playthrough, it was definitely worst on my first go-round. So that's my biggest issue with Rock of the Dead, but I will not hold this against the game itself as it's truly meant to be played with an instrument controller, but the devs added a normal controller setting for people like me who only have a normal controller. Alright, the next thing I want to discuss is the story. It's pretty silly and doesn't take itself seriously. You're an unnamed dude who defeats zombies with the power of rock. The game starts out with your character, I'm gonna call him Nick, it just seems fitting, practicing his guitar and vocals in front of his grandpa at a graveyard for an upcoming concert of his, when meteors suddenly come falling from the sky and the dead arise from their graves, and Nick quickly realizes that his guitar can kill the zombies and various other monsters that pop up in-game. Nick decides to go to try to rescue his crush, a girl named Mary Beth, but right as he's about to save her, she's abducted by aliens. Nick follows the alien spaceship only to learn that Mary Beth is being mind controlled by the aliens and that they'd also kidnapped other humans. Nick uses his guitar to free the captives he finds and learns that the aliens are behind the zombie apocalypse and have been launching meteors at Earth to start the zombie apocalypse, but are mad at Nick for fighting their takeover. Now, back up for a second. Throughout the game, Nick keeps seeing weird visions without knowing their meaning, and the aliens reveal that the visions are from them, and that Nick was chosen as a baby to one day lead the aliens. Nick is presented with a choice to either take over the world, the bad ending, or fight the aliens to save mankind, the good ending. And that's largely the story, although I should mention there are many various jokes and funny moments tossed into the game. Gameplay wise, well, it's a rhythm based rail shooter. You try to match patterns and get points based off the difficulty of your enemy and your combo. You build up your combo by defeating enemies and lose it when you either take damage or make a mistake and press the wrong button. My longest combo was about 125, I think, and that wasn't a super easy task. Also, upon defeating enemies, you can regain health and charge your power meter, which depletes with too many bad combos. Now, what exactly does the power meter power? That would be your shield and blast attack. Both are pretty self-explanatory. The shield makes you invincible while active, and the blast, which uses more power, eliminates all vulnerable non-boss enemies in a single hit. They all have 3 upgrade levels, and if my memory serves me right, you either earn upgrade points by completing challenges or by collecting guitar picks throughout the levels. That I'm not 100% sure on, but it's one of the two. About the challenges, all non-boss levels hold 5 challenges. A score challenge in which you try to reach a certain score, a combo challenge in which you try to hit that combo multiplier, an accuracy challenge for trying to keep a minimum accuracy, a no-death challenge, and a challenge to complete X amount of end-level challenges, like saving trapped civilians or picking up crystals and guitar picks. When you've completed every challenge on a level, you get a medal, with medals being used towards unlocking achievements. About the soundtrack, one of the biggest selling points of this title, it's a bunch of various rock and metal songs. I do wish the game told you what song was playing in-game, kinda like how Killing Floor 2 does. I've been trying to find my favorite song from this game on the internet, but I don't know the name of it. This game also has a fun co-op mode, which I played with my wife once, and you get an achievement for completing any level with another player. Graphics wise, sure, it's not hyper realistic, but I honestly liked its style. Rock of the Dead did have one exploitable mechanic, which I saw one reviewer complaining about, and this is that the game can be beat very easily by just button mashing your way throughout the entire game, although at the cost of a low score. But really, if you're like me, you play this game the way it was meant to be played, by actually trying to be accurate and not mash your way through the levels. Although there were a few sections I did mash my way through due to the immense difficulty of those areas. Rock of the Dead also has a very challenging horde survival mode, which I enjoyed. On the topic of game length, this title on normal difficulty can be beaten in about 4 hours and is well worth the time. The last thing I want to discuss are bosses and enemy variety, which were very creative. Bosses range from giant bugs to a boss made up of single wide trailers to a giant crocodile to the final alien boss. While most enemies were similar in nature, some moved faster than others and had less health, and some had ranged attacks and ranged from zombie humans and bugs to robots and slimes. Overall, I give Rock of the Dead an 8.4 out of 10. I think I did give this game a lower score at some point on a short, but have since gotten more fond of it. I don't really have any similar games to suggest, as I never really messed with Guitar Hero or Rock Band outside of playing one of the DS Guitar Heroes a single time. But if you like games with zombies and rock music, check out a game called Killing Floor 2, one of my favorite games of all time, or House of the Dead 3, if you like zombie rail shooters. Well, that's all from me for today, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope one of y'all enjoyed it, at least. For anyone who is new to my channel, I mostly play, review, and discuss horror and zombie games, so maybe feel free to check out some of my other content if that sounds interesting. Always remember that Jesus loves you all very much. Have a great day. Peace.